Hey there, hello everyone. It is such a bright and beautiful day to learn something new, isn't it? A really warm welcome back to Learning English Studio. I'm Amelia, and I am so happy you could join us for today's episode. I've got my coffee here, I've got my notes ready, and I'm feeling great.
Good morning, Amelia. Good morning to everyone listening out there. It's always a pleasure to be here. The energy in the studio today is just calm. I like it. Very focused.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, James. You know, I was actually thinking this morning about how much fun we have doing these podcasts. It doesn't feel like work at all. It just feels like we are chatting with friends.
Exactly. And that is the best way to learn, right? When you are relaxed and having a good time. But before we get too comfortable, I have to remind our lovely listeners about the buttons.
Yes, the very important buttons. If you are new here, please do subscribe to Learning English Studio. And if you enjoy our chats, please tap that like button. It really makes us do a little happy dance when we see those numbers go up.
It really does. It helps us know that you are liking these episodes and want us to make more. So don't be shy. Give us a thumbs up.
Awesome. So, James, are you ready to tackle today's topic? Because I think this one is going to be incredibly useful for everyone, especially if you are just starting your English journey or if you need a quick refresher.
I was born ready, Amelia. What are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about 3 tiny little words that cause big headaches. We are talking about the prepositions of time and place: in, on, and at.
Ah, yes, the famous trio. In, on, at. Small words, but oh so powerful.
Exactly. They are small, but they are everywhere. You cannot speak English without them. And the tricky thing is that many languages don't use them the same way we do in English, so that's where the confusion happens.
That is so true. I remember when I was learning, I used to just guess. I'd say in Monday or at the table. Actually, at the table is right, but I used to get mixed up a lot.
We have all been there, but today we're going to fix that confusion. We're going to break it down into a simple system that actually makes sense, a system you can remember.
Sounds good. So where do we start? Should we do time first or place?
Let's start with time. I feel like talking about time is something we do every single day. What time is the meeting? When is your birthday? So let's master the timeline.
Okay, so imagine a timeline, a long line from the past to the future. Where do in, on, and at fit on this line?
This is the perfect way to visualize it. Think of it like a target. Think of in as the biggest, widest circle. On is a smaller, more specific circle inside that, and at is the tiny exact dot in the very center.
Okay, I like that visual. Big circle, smaller circle, tiny dot. So in is the most general.
Yes, in is for general, long periods of time. Things like months, years, seasons, centuries, and parts of the day. For example, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening.
Right, so I would say I drink coffee in the morning.
Exactly, that is a perfect sentence. What about months? My birthday is in June.
In June. And years. I was born in 1995.
Yes, in 1995, or in the 21st century. It's for that long period of time. Even seasons. We go to the beach in the summer. It's all that big chunk of time.
Okay, so in is the big picture. Now what about on, the middle circle?
On is more specific. It is for days and dates. It's like one specific point on that timeline. So days of the week, on Monday, on Saturday.
I have a meeting on Friday.
Perfect. And specific dates, on July 4th, on my birthday, on Christmas Day.
Ah, okay. So if in is for months, like in December, then on is for the specific day, like on December 25th.
You got it. That is a great way to compare them. In 2024, the whole year, versus on Monday, just one day. It's getting more specific.
I see. And then at must be the most specific, the tiny dot.
Yes, at is for precise times. It is for clock time. When you look at your watch and see the numbers, at 5 o'clock, at 8:30, at noon, at midnight.
Okay, The class starts at 9 a.m.
Yes, and it's also for specific moments in time, like at that moment or at the same time, or even at night, though in the night is possible. At night is the common phrase for the general time of darkness.
Interesting. So let's try to combine them. This is the true test. Can we make a sentence that uses all three?
Ooh, I love a challenge. Let's try. I will meet you. Now I need a time at 5 o'clock. Then I need a day on Friday. And then a longer period in the summer.
I will meet you at 5 o'clock on Friday in the summer. That actually works.
It does. And did you hear the order? We went from the most specific, at 5 o'clock, to the general, in the summer.
At, on, in. From small to big. That's a really good tip.
Exactly. Time order, at, on, in. Say that a few times in your head. At, on, in. Small to big.
Okay, I think we have the time part covered. But wait, what about the phrase in the morning versus at night? That feels a little inconsistent.
English is rarely 100% consistent, is it? But generally, we use in for the parts of the day that have length, morning, afternoon, evening, but night is often treated as a point in time in some phrases, so we say at night. But if we say in the night, it usually means in the middle of the night.
I heard a noise in the night.
Yes, that sounds a bit mysterious, like a story. At night is just the general time. I sleep at night.
Okay, that makes sense. I think listeners just need to practice those phrases. In the morning, at night.
Definitely. Now let's switch gears and talk about place, because in, on, and at also work for places, but the logic is slightly different. This is where it gets fun.
Okay, place. Let's visualize the target again. Is it the same? Big circle, smaller circle, dot?
It's very similar. For place, in is the biggest container. It is for being inside something. Think of a box, a room, a city, or a country. If you can physically be inside the borders, use in.
Okay, so I am in the room. I am in the house.
Yes, I live in London. I live in France. I am in the car. Wait, in the car is good, but what about a bus? Usually on the bus. We'll get to transport in a second.
Transport is its own special category, but for places, in means enclosed.
Right. In the garden, if you are surrounded by fences or bushes. In the park, in the water.
I am swimming in the pool.
Perfect. So in means inside. Now what about on? For place, on is for surfaces, things that have a surface you can stand on or touch.
Like a floor?
Yes. The book is on the table. The picture is on the wall. I am sitting on the chair. There is a fly on the window.
I spilled coffee on my shirt. Oh no, that is sad.
Yes, that is a sad day, but grammatically correct. On the shirt. It's on the surface. And on is also used for lines, like a road, a river, or a coast. We live on the main road. London is on the River Thames.
Ah, that's a nice distinction. In the river means swimming in the water. On the river means maybe on a boat, or on the bank, or just a location of the city next to it.
Exactly. Context is key, but on implies contact with a line or a surface. And then we have at, the specific point.
At for place. This is the one I find hardest to explain.
It is tricky. At is for a specific point or location. It's not about being inside, it's about the purpose or the specific spot. Think of at as a point on a map, at the bus stop, at the door, at the intersection.
So if I am waiting for the bus, I am standing at the bus stop, even if I'm technically on the sidewalk?
Yes, because your focus is that specific point for the bus. I am at the school. This might sound confusing. If I say I am at school, it means I am there for the purpose of learning or working. If I say I am in the school, it sounds like I am physically inside the building, maybe exploring the hallways.
Ah, interesting. So at gives the location of function. I am at the office. I am at the gym. I am at the station.
Yes, I am at the station. I am there to catch a train. And here's a classic one, at home. We never say in home, we always say at home.
I am at home. It sounds so natural. In home sounds wrong.
It does. It sounds like you are inside the physical structure, but at home describes your state of being. It's warmer.
What about addresses? I live at 52 Main Street.
Yes, precise addresses use at because it is a specific point on the map, but the city or country uses in. I live at 52 Main Street in London, in England.
Wow, so at for the exact dot, on for the street name, on Main Street?
Yes, you can say on Main Street because the street is like a line or surface. So you can say I live on Main Street or I live at 52 Main Street. Both work, but at is more precise.
This is fascinating. It's like a game of precision. How specific do you want to be?
Exactly. Now let's talk about transport because we mentioned this earlier and it's a common exam question. How do we travel?
Let's see. I go to work by car. I go on foot. I take the train.
Okay, so here's the general rule for how you travel. For cars and taxis, we usually say in. I am in the car. I got in the taxi.
But wait, for public transport like buses, trains, and planes, we say on.
Yes, on the bus, on the train, on the plane, on the ship.
Why the difference?
Good question. It's probably because with a car or a taxi, you feel like you're inside a small box. But with a bus or a plane, you're walking onto a large vehicle, almost like a platform or a surface. You get on the bus.
Get on the bus. Get in the car.
Yes, and there's one more tiny exception. On a bicycle or on a motorbike because you're sitting on top of it.
I ride my bike to school, or I go on my bike.
Exactly. So transport, in, car, taxi, on, bus, train, plane, bike.
I think we should do a little story now. I feel like stories help lock these rules in our brains.
That is a wonderful idea. Let's create a character. Let's call him Tom. Tom is a very busy guy.
Okay, I like Tom. Tell me about Tom's day.
So Tom wakes up in the morning.
Good start.
He gets out of bed and steps on the floor. He walks into the kitchen. But wait, we're focusing on in, on, at. He's in the kitchen.
Okay, in the kitchen.
He looks at the clock. It is at 7 o'clock. He has to be quick. He drinks his coffee in the kitchen and then leaves his house. He gets in his car.
Driving to work.
He drives on the road. He arrives at the office at 8:30 a.m.
At 8:30 a.m. Very specific.
He works in his office on the 3rd floor. At lunch, he goes to a restaurant. No, that's two. He sits at a table. He eats lunch on a plate.
Hope the food stays on the plate.
Yes. After work, he has a plan. He has a ticket to see a movie on Saturday. But wait, today is Friday. So he says, I will see the movie on Saturday.
Okay.
So Tom finishes work, goes home, and is at home in the evening. He watches TV on the sofa.
Nice relaxing end of the day.
Yes. And finally, he goes to sleep in his bed.
Aw, that was a cozy story.
It was. But did you notice how we used all 3 prepositions to describe the movements and the time? It flows so naturally when you put it in a story.
It really does. At 6 p.m. on Saturday, you hear the rhythm. It's musical almost.
Speaking of rhythm, there are some common expressions with these prepositions that you just have to memorize. Idioms, really.
Oh yes, English loves idioms. What are some common ones with in, on, and at?
Let's start with in. How about in the end? That means finally.
In the end, we passed the test.
Good one. In time, this means not late, with enough time to spare. We arrived in time for the movie.
Not to be confused with on time.
Ah, yes, that is a huge difference. On time means exactly at the planned time, punctual. The train left on time. But in time means before it was too late.
So if I arrive on time, I am not late. If I arrive in time, I might still be a little bit late, but I caught the important part.
Exactly. I got to the station in time to buy a ticket. I didn't miss the train. But if the train leaves at 9 and I get there at 9, I am on time.
That is a very, very useful distinction. I'm glad we talked about that.
What about on?
On time we did. On holiday?
Yes, I am on holiday or on vacation, on the phone, on the internet, on TV.
I saw you on TV.
Yes, on fire.
The kitchen is on fire. That is an emergency. Don't use that lightly.
Definitely not. And for
At least. At last.
at the moment, at first, at once.
These are fixed phrases. You just have to hear them a lot and get used to them.
Yes, exposure is key. Read books, watch movies, listen to podcasts like this one.
Exactly. The more you listen, the more natural these choices become. You stop translating from your own language and just start feeling the English preposition.
I think that is the most important thing. Don't try to memorize a dictionary of rules. Try to understand the big logic. General time versus specific time. Inside versus surface versus point. And then trust your gut.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you say in Monday, people will understand you. It's not a disaster.
Oh, absolutely. Communication is the goal. Grammar is just the tool to make it smoother. So be kind to yourselves while you learn.
You know, I remember a story from when I was traveling. I was at a train station and I wanted to ask what time the train arrived. I was so nervous. I wanted to say arrive at, but I got confused and I said, when does the train arrive in the station?
Did the station master understand you?
He did. He smiled and said, in about 5 minutes. He didn't correct me, but I realized later, arrive at the station, arrive in the city.
The train arrives at the station, but it arrives in London.
That is a brilliant example. Arrive at for a specific point, like a building or station. Arrive in for a city or country.
See? Even when we mess up, we learn.
That is the truth. We learn by doing. So I hope our listeners feel confident to go out and use these prepositions. Talk about your schedule. I have a meeting on Tuesday at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Use them all.
It's like stacking blocks. Build your sentence block by block.
I love that analogy. Building blocks. Small words, but they build big ideas.
We have covered a lot today, haven't we? Time, place, transport, idioms, and even a story about Tom.
We certainly have. I feel like our brains are a little bit bigger now.
Definitely, but in a good way. I feel ready to look at the clock and the calendar with confidence.
Me too. And before we wrap up, I just want to say a massive thank you to our listeners. Your support means the world to us. Keep those comments coming. We read them all.
Yes, please do. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Join the Learning English Studio family.
And now it is my favorite part of the show where we get to interact with you. We want to hear your voice.
Okay, here is the task. We want you to write a comment below and tell us about one event in your future. It could be a party, a trip, a meeting, or a class.
But here's the catch. You have to use all 3 prepositions in your sentence.
Yes, you have to use in, on, and at.
For example, I could say, I'm going to the beach in July. I will leave on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock.
Ooh, that's a good one. Or maybe I have a test in the morning. It is on the 15th at 10 a.m.
See, it's simple. Just tell us a little plan. In, month or time, on, day, at, clock time.
Can you do it? We bet you can. Write your sentence in the comments section below. Let's see how creative you can be.
And if you're feeling brave, maybe you can add a place preposition too, like I will be at the school on Monday.
Oh, that's a great bonus challenge. At the school, in the room, on the floor.
I can't wait to read them. It really makes our day when we see you practicing.
Absolutely. So get typing. And don't forget to add a smiley face emoji at the end of your comment. We love those.
Yes, spread the happiness. Well, Amelia, I think that's a wrap for another great episode.
It is. Thank you so much, James, for breaking this down with me. It's always fun.
Anytime, and thank you everyone for listening. Take care, practice hard, and remember, in, on, at.
Small words, big impact. See you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.